TGC Requiem here. We are back with some Sultai Midrange. So far we're 1-1 in the league, 2-2, went 2-0 against Scred Red, 0-2 against Jund. I liked our sideboard plan, and it looked like we were going to be in a strong position, but they just had all of the right answers on the second game with Jund. So it looks like we're on the draw here, waiting to see what our opponent, the King, decides to do. Right now he's just deciding whether or not he wants to be on the play or the draw. I'm assuming he didn't realize, stepped away for a second, had to run to the restroom or something. Since you don't know your hand before you decide, it's highly unlikely that there's any sort of real decision going on. Typically everybody's on the play. Occasionally if you're playing, what is it? Smallpox? With 8 racks, sometimes you'll be on the draw there. Speaking of, I have an interesting idea. I don't want to get into it too much right now, about using Sultai in a reanimator shell similar to Grixis, cutting red. There's definite downside to cutting red in the fact that you're losing Faithless Looting and losing through the breach, but still have an interesting concept. We'll see what happens. This is a pretty good hand, actually. We don't have any action, but we do have some interaction, and we should be able to shred our opponent's hand, which would be excellent against what are we trying to say here? Be excellent against a combo deck, and it's still good against most anything, considering we got 2 Inquisitions. So we'll keep this. Our opponent kept 7. Tron. So we're going to probably just lose here. We're just going to go ahead and put that out there right now. Unless he's going to stumble on mana, and he's already got a map. So, well, I mean, I suppose we can try and scare him with some blue mana. If we go blue. Alright, so, okay, so this is actually going to be Eldrazi Tron, which makes things a little bit better. He also has a pretty weak draw, actually, all said. We could really go for a threat. So he's got a tower. Actually, he doesn't have that bad of a hand. So he has Tower Mine. He's going to be able to crack his Expedition map to get his other land, which allows him to play any of these 3 cards, which is going to probably lead on Smasher. Endbringer. Oh gosh, this is going to be bad. On the plus side, we'll be able to Thought Seize away one of those threats. Fortunately, Abrupt Decay does not hit any of them. And so he gets a power plant. Second Thoughtseize would be great here. Oh, let's see. We have literally no answers to... I guess we have Liliana, which is an answer to the bigger ones. He's got a mine and a power plant. So, I mean, we have to take the Reality Smasher here. Liliana can fight Endbringer. Can't attack or block this turn. I mean, we do have like the one Maelstrom Pulse. Reality Smasher is the bigger threat. Thought Not Seer, we're not really concerned about any of the cards it might take. And I accidentally clicked on Endbringer there. That's my fault. So this will just make this loss go a little bit quicker. So he does go with Thought Not Seer. Honestly, he's probably going to take the Thought Scour, as neither of the other two cards are relevant. It's possible he takes the Abrupt Decay. No, yeah. So there's a small chance he takes the Abrupt Decay on the thought that if he gets a Chalice. So Liliana is actually excellent. It's going to buy us some time here. So if we go Swamp, what's the downside of that? I think we want Swamp here. So we're just going to hope he takes his Reality Smash out of Liliana. Hopefully that gives us time to draw into a Maelstrom Pulse. That's pretty much all we got going on right now. Yep. I suppose another Liliana works as well. So he runs out a Ghost Quarter. Just a couple mines, Mine Tower. We have a Stubborn Denial, but I don't know if there's anything he's going to cast that we can actually counter that way. Start cracking at our Ghost Quarters and or Ghost Quartering our basics, but it's kind of irrelevant. Again, we're really looking for a Liliana here. Maelstrom Pulse possibly. We know he has a mine, we're not sure what else. We could snap into a Thought Scour. Doesn't really do us anything. This turn at least. Well, I suppose it's not 100% true. We could have gotten a Tasigur threatening a double block. We're not going to block with the Snapcaster Mage here. There's just really no value. It's going to trample over enough that trample damage would finish us off anyway. Got a little bit of the sniffles going on. Fatal Push, excellent. Not. Oh, we got the Liliana just in time. So the question is what he has in hand, which we don't know. There's no reason to not attack here. He either is going to play a non-hasty creature that doesn't kill us, or a hasty creature that kills us either way. So he's got double Tron going on, not drawn on a whole lot more. A couple stubborn denials that aren't going to do anything without a without a Tarmogoyf or Grimflayer to back him up. Seagate Wreckage here? What's he dismembering? Well, he's maybe a little threatened. Interesting. All is dust. Ugh. Suppose he may. He's probably, if he doesn't toss the all is dust, that's a good sign Liliana's going bye-bye next turn. I think we have to cast away the Fatal Push here. Although if he all is dusts and then... Ooh. Yeah, actually we're going to toss the Abrupt Decay. So if he all is dusts and then tries to follow up with Thought-Knot Seer, at least Fatal Push can handle that. Yeah, so he pitched the Temple. Here comes an all is dust, presumably. Unfortunately, the Thought-Knot Seer comes first, so we can't actually do this, but so here comes the all is dust, wipes out Liliana. So we're basically on a Liliana or Maelstrom Pulse draw. Matter Reshaper, that's probably it. Yep, so we're just going to go ahead and concede here. We were on the draw, so we lost turn 11. Eldrazi Tron. See what we got on the sideboard. Ashiok could be pretty sweet. Rain of Tears, pretty great. Languish. Let's think about this here. I mean, definitely Damnation. Quite possibly Surgical Extraction. I don't know that we want Stubborn Denial at all. It's possible that our plan is to just blow up their lands enough. Inquisition's kind of weak, I feel like. I suppose you could steal a Chalice, which would be problematic. Although I think obviously Abrupt Decay is our better plan. Fatal Push is pretty weak. There are some creatures it hits, but not many. I actually feel like we're going to pull all the Fatal Pushes. I think we're going to bring in Languishes. Possibly. Let's take a peek. Collective Brutality. I don't think we want Inquisition. We definitely want Thoughtseize. I don't know if we want Stubborn Denial. I feel like maybe we'll just keep one in. How is this looking CMC wise? Surgical, actually, so yeah, but there's nothing we want to Inquisition that will get the Surgical Extraction. Or that we want to surgically extract. I think we're cutting the brutalities as well. You get it in time. Kind of like that. So Thought Scour actually is another way to go after them. Inquisition something, or surgically extract something that we may want to get. This is actually a really decent opening hand if we have a second land, but we don't. This is alright, we can keep this. I'm actually okay putting in this on top. We're going to fetch it away anyway, so who cares? So we are going to what do we want to run out here? I think we're gonna I think we just got to run out Grim Flayer. I think they run Warping Whale, which could exile a 1 CMC creature, and I don't think it checks for instants before it's exiled. It's more like a destroy spell. So we could put a creature in a land. I guess it doesn't really matter because we're going to have to fetch. Snapcaster seems relatively weak. None of these cards really matter. What do we have post? No, Snapcaster is stronger because we have. I think we want to keep all of these. Save maybe the swamp. So we'll thin out the swamp, say okay, keep the rest on top, and then we're just going to fetch away. So we want those cards in the deck. We did thin the deck a little bit, which is kind of irrelevant. We're anticipating Thought Not Seer, so we do want to get the Liliana down. Reality Smasher could also be a thing. Reality Smasher taking Liliana, just something we might have to deal with. It's either leave Liliana in hand, play another creature, and then get the Thought Not Seer to take away the Liliana. Again, not knowing what he has doesn't make much of a difference. So now the Tarmogoyf's getting a little bit bigger. If we can avoid a Thought Not Seer here, Tarmogoyf might be able to fight what other creatures they play. So I actually expected them to go to Eldrazi Temple, so I'm definitely expecting a Thought Not Seer here. Actually goes for another expedition map. Land or Stone Rain, or Rain of Tears rather, would be pretty great. One, two. So I think we're going to lead off with another Grimflayer attack. We're probably going to play two of the creatures, Tasigur and Tarmogoyf. Languish looks okay. Darkslick is good with Tasigur. Sorcery. I think we're actually going to throw the Tasigur in the bin. Probably going to keep Languish there. This will allow us to oh, you know what? Yep. Mistake. We actually wanted to leave the land since we were going to pitch the Grimflayer. Although, yeah, we're just all dead to all is dust either way. Probably should have kept the Tarmogoyf back in hand now that I think about this. So if he goes and gets the other piece of Tron and drops in all its dust, we're just feeling the hurt. Hurt or Ugin. Oh god, I hate this card. So we're dead. There's really no way to come back from Ugin short of drawing a. Well, actually, that's true. So he had to actually exile with Tasigur. So there is a chance that we might be able to. No, because he can just uptick and kill the Grimflayer. Still just need to draw a Maelstrom Pulse. And in the meantime, he's got a full hand, full grip, we got nothing. We're going to get just actually rolled here. Didn't actually realize they ran Ugin. Not used to seeing Ugin in these Eldrazi Tron lists. This doesn't really do anything for us. Can just equip the Batter Skull here. It's gonna get nasty real quick. Yeah, and now we're to the point too where Maelstrom Pulse doesn't even do anything for us because we need 2 targets. We really just didn't draw. I mean, we definitely have the tools to fight this deck, but what we were looking for were Thought Scours with Surgical Extractions or Rain of Tears with Surgical Extractions. We didn't get any of that. It's possible I should have mulliganed harder in the matchup. But anyway, that is it. Beat down City. So I think actually we lose this match 0-2. And that puts us to 1-2, 2-4 in the league. Not the most impressive so far. But again, I really feel like if we're looking at our deck there, having access to the Surgical Extractions and the Rain of Tears and the Ashiok's, all very powerful cards. And obviously this deck can get out of hand a little fast. But that was kind of just like the worst cards. Not the worst cards we could draw. I mean, it was a beat down draw. And them having Ugin is surprising. Again, I'm used to them top ending with, Ulamog or something along those lines. Absolutely, all this dust is a thing, but not used to seeing Ugin, and Ugin is brutal when it resolves. And again, if we didn't have a chance to Thoughtseize at it or slow him down with any Rain of Tears, it just not something we're legitimately going to have a chance against. So anyway, we'll be back with the last couple matches a little bit later, and hopefully you enjoy